I'm Andrew, thanks for joining me. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. It's just been so hectic with holidays, beautiful weather, visitors, new job. Everyone's had new jobs. It's just been crazy. And now the Beanies project is getting underway. There's tons of behind the scenes work to do in planning that. If you're not sure what Beanies project is, I'll put a link below to the Facebook group. You can go and find out. But very briefly, it's a project we set up last year to make. It originally was to make simple beanie hats for the homeless. We set out to make 100 hats. I asked the online community to help me, and it ended up going crazy. We ended up making thousands of hats and doing all sorts of wonderful things, which are all on the Facebook group. And we decided to repeat it again this year. So this year, Mariner Yarns have teamed up with us, and they've produced a knitted hat pattern for us, and I've produced a crochet hat pattern for us. And this is a basic Ben's beanie for 2019. The official pattern, quite easy to make it smaller. All you do is less increased rows at the beginning, which is what I'll explain to you. You can put pom-poms on it, you can put a trim on it, you can put your stripes somewhere else, you can use whatever colours you like, entirely up to you. And you know, if you want to make some of these, that's fantastic. Some of your own design, other designs and patterns you find, that's brilliant. And they will go to our regional coordinators, who will distribute them to causes in your local area. Now that might be most of the men's hats go to homeless support groups. Women's hats, we send some to the homeless support groups, but we also send some to women's cancer units. Children's hats go to cancer units, refugees, neonatal units, all sorts of wonderful places, wherever our regional coordinators send them to. Myself and Ben's mum Karen are the coordinators for the southwest of England and Wales, so they'll come to us if you live in this region. And we're also asking that people make a novelty hat or two if they want, and send them to us, and we'll sell those on a pop-up stall at Christmas, and all the money in the lead up to Christmas, and all the proceeds from that, all the money will go to our two charities, which are the British Liver Trust and the Cardiff City Hospice this year. And if you want to know why we chose those charities, it's all explained on the Facebook page, and 100% of monies raised go to those charities. We cover all costs of Ben's Beanies ourselves as a family, so that there's no expenses taken from donations or money raised from donations. This year we also have a card challenge, and we've already had over 200 cards submitted, and we haven't even launched it yet. I will be making a video to officially launch the card challenge, but if you want to check that out, I'll also link below, and you can go to the Ben's Beanies Facebook page and you'll find your way to the card challenge from there. If you're not sure what on earth I'm talking about, then very briefly, Ben's Beanies was a thing that we set up last winter in memory of my nephew Ben, who passed away in 2017 December, of type 1 diabetes. He was undiagnosed, we didn't know he had it. By the time we found out, it was too late. He'd been collecting hats for the homeless, warm clothing and supplies for the homeless when he died. It was his last Facebook entry, was to rally people around to help, and so we came up with something to do in tribute to him. We've done lots of charitable things in Ben's memory, but this was a specific project that we did last year. We set out to make 100 hats, and we made many more times that. It was amazing what happened, and so we decided to repeat it this year as part of Ben's legacy, and to help out people in need, raise a bit of money for charity. And also we found last year that a lot of our volunteers felt benefits from being involved in the project and had life improvements and just had a good time. So doing something for somebody you don't know can make you feel amazing, believe me. So if you want to get involved, Ben's Beanies project, feel free to share this video. I will put a link to the Ben's Beanies Just Giving page. It's only just opened, so if you do want to make a little contribution by way of thanks for this video, then by all means do so, or if you want to purchase the pattern, I'll put a link below. The download is free, but if you want a pattern sent out to you, then we are charging £2. That's it. Let's get started. Right, we've chosen the colours purple and green because purple was Ben's favourite colour. He'd asked for a purple blazer that year for Christmas, which unfortunately he never got to see. And the green we've added as an accent colour, which is mirroring one of our charities this year, which is the Cardiff City Hospice Trust, which uses this green in its branding. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make the man's hat. The pattern is for the man's hat, but you can adapt it, as I'm going to show you, for children. So I'm using these amazing acrylics from Mariner Yarns. I'm using this gorgeous colour, which is violet, and this one, which is cordial. I'll put links below as to where you can get these from. Mariner's Yarns direct, or you can get them from Shaw's direct stores and online. Whichever one of those three you get them from, they're £1.10 for 100 grams. Now, the hat you've just seen, I've already made using these, and look how much is left. So you're going to get a couple of hats out of one ball or two balls of this. It's 100% acrylic. It's fabulous. It doesn't split. It feels really lovely. It washes really well. It's just a great yarn to use. So yeah, I'm using a 5mm hook, which is also from Mariner Yarns. In fact, if you come to our launch event in Cardiff on the 14th of September, which is at Shaw's direct, in fact it's actually outside the Entertainer on the first floor of Queen's Arcade, and you're one of the first 5 to come, you'll get this little bundle, one each of these colours, and this 5mm soft grip hook completely free as a gift from us. And you'll also get a copy of the printed pattern included in that little bundle. And also we're doing a giveaway on the Facebook page on the same day for 5 little bundles as well. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, I'll put the links below to where you can buy these from, and all the other lovely colours in the range. So let's get started. I'm going to try and make this video so it's suitable for absolute beginners, but also suitable for other levels. So we're going to start with a slip knot. So forgive me if you're a more experienced crocheter and it's a bit slow for you, and forgive me if you're less experienced and it gets a bit fast. I'm going to try and cater for everybody. So we're going to start with a slip knot. So if you can do a slip knot, you can crochet. And I do have a really slow, really close-up version of a slip knot on my Absolute Beginners playlist on this channel, which I'll link again. Lay my yarn across my fingers, and I wrap it around my 2 fingers, cross it as it goes across, and then just hold it with my 3rd finger, put my hook under the 1st strand, and pull through the 2nd strand, twist my hook just so it stays on, and then just gently pull everything off my fingers. And then I keep hold of my yarn that's attached to my yarn ball, pull both of them to start with, then keep hold of my yarn that's attached to my yarn ball and just pull it up onto my hook, and that's it. And that's what's called my straggler, and this is my working yarn. Okay, so we're going to, if you're not sure, just go back and repeat that again until you've got it right. Now we're going to chain 6. You can do a magic ring if you want, but this is a bit easier. So you put your yarn over your hook. Watch the hook action as well. Put your yarn over your hook, turn your hook a little bit to the bottom, grab that yarn and pull it through the loop on your hook, and then put your hook back to that position. That's 1 chain. Do it again. 2 chains. We're doing 6 chains for those of you that know what you're doing. 3 chains, 4 chains, 5 chains, and 6 chains. Okay, and now you get your hook and you go back to that first chain you made, and you stick your hook into that stitch, grab some yarn and pull it through that hook, that hole, and then pull it through the loop on your hook. and you've made yourself a little circle. And this is the basis for so much crochet. Okay, so you can do this, you can do anything. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start with round 1, and round 1 starts with a chain 3. So through, 2 and 3. And now this is called a standing chain, and what it does is it gets us up to the height of the stitch we're going to be making. And the stitches we're going to be making here are called treble crochets. In the US they're called double crochets, but in the UK we call them treble crochets. And we're going to put 10 into this ring. So those of you who know what you're doing can go ahead. Those of you who don't can watch this slowly. So I'm going to yarn over, watch the position of my hook, yarn over, hold on to that yarn if you need to, put my hook into that circle, grab some yarn, pull it through from the back of the circle to the front. Now I've got 3 loops on my hook. Now I yarn over and I pull through 2. I've got 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Now watch again how my hook moves. So I've got my hook with the yarn over, I'm popping my hook, I'm holding that yarn, popping my hook through the hole, then I turn my hook slightly to grab that yarn and pull it through. Then I lift my hook back up so it can't slide off. Then I hook more yarn, twist it to keep hold of it as I pull it through those 2 loops, and then turn it again so it doesn't slide off. Okay? And I've made my second double crochet. So yarn over, hook into the middle, grab some yarn and pull it through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, hook into the middle, grab some yarn and pull it through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And we keep doing that until we have 10 stitches. So we've got our standing chain plus 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to speed up a bit. There are your stitches. That's 1, 2, 3. Put your hook in between the 2 parts of that V, push it in, grab some yarn, pull it through that stitch, and then pull it through the loop on your hook. And that's your circle, that's the beginning of your hat. That's this very small part here at the top. Okay? Now what we want to do is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a double crochet in the US, into this little hole. Can you see this little hole here? Where this stitch is. So yarn over, pop that into that little hole, grab some yarn and pull it through. So you've got 3 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now what you're going to do is you're going to put 2 treble crochet or double crochet in the US into each stitch around. Okay? So I'm going to do this a little bit slowly, just a minute. So people who know what they're doing can go off and do that. And then I'm going to put my yarn over. Now this is the stitch, and you can see this V shape, these 2 little pieces of yarn. So yarn over, you want to go into those under those 2 little pieces of yarn, grab your yarn, put it through, so you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then yarn over and go back into that same space, which will be easy to find now. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then do it again in the next one. And as you start sewing into your stitches or crocheting into your stitches, you'll find that where your next stitch is becomes ever more apparent because it gets bigger. So just remember to put 2 in each of those. Here's your next one. So here we are. If you wanted to count them back, you can either count the stitches back by these V shapes or you can count them by the posts. I'm going to go with the V shape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we joined the top again of that first chain 3. See, I made a mistake there, I wasn't in the stitch. It can be quite hard to get in the stitch because it can be quite tight. Especially when you're sewing at an angle that's you're not used to, like I am. Pull it through and join with a slip stitch. And there we go. Now for the next round we're going to stick with the same colour and we're going to chain 3, and this is another increase round. Now that, by putting 2 in each stitch, what we did was we doubled up to 22 stitches around. So now what we're going to do another increase round, and we're going to chain 3, yarn over and put our first treble into that same stitch again. So we've got 2 in that first stitch, and then in this stitch we're going to put 1 double crochet, or treble crochet in the UK, double in the US. Then in the next one we're going to put 2, and we're increasing again. Okay. And in the next one we're going to put 1, and in the next one we're going to put 2, and we're going to do that all the way around. So from 22 we should go up to 33 stitches around. Okay, so next one we put 1, and next one we put 2. Okay, so now what we want to do is chain 3. We've finished that round off by slip stitching into the top of the chain 3. So now we want to chain another 3, and we want to do that exact same thing again. Yarn over into that little space there under that chain 3, pull through some yarn and do our treble or double in the US. Now we want to put 1 in the next stitch, and then 1 in the next stitch, and then this time we want to put 2 in the next stitch. Okay, so just excuse the sound of my sister singing her head off in the background. I don't think she realises I'm filming. And then 1 in the next stitch, and 1 in the next stitch, and then 2 in the next stitch. And we just keep doing that all the way around until we get to the end again, and then we join to the top of that chain 3 in the beginning. So it's 1 in that stitch, 1 in the next stitch, and then 2 in the next stitch, and just keep repeating that pattern all the way around until we get to the end. And there we are at the end of that round. Now if you wanted to make a hat for a baby or a small child, you'd stop increasing there. I mean, if it was for a preemie baby, you'd stop even increasing at this point here, and then you'd just do a few, you'd follow the rest of the pattern with your for your sort of lines and things. For a small child baby you would stop here, but we're going to carry on. So we're going to chain 3, and we're going to yarn over. I'm going to pop 1 into that same space, and then we're going to put a treble into the next stitch, and a treble into the next stitch, and a treble into the next stitch. So in each of the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to put 2 trebles into the next stitch. And this is the pattern we're following around now. So that's one into the next, one into the next, one into the third, and then two into the fourth, and we just follow that all the way around. So I'll join you at the end again. So here we are back again. You might find that your hat starts to turn up now. Remember, the back of your work is where your straggler is. This is the front. This is going to be the inside of your hat. This is going to be the outside. And now we're going to do one more row of increases. If you wanted to do a lady's hat, you could stop there, but we're going to do the gents' hat, so we're going to do 3 chains, and it's not rocket science. It's what we've been doing all along. And we're going to increase again. So we're going to yarn over into that same space, a treble crochet, then into the next 4 stitches. We're going to put 1 treble crochet in each of the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 into the 5th stitch. So 1 and 2. That one goes into the same stitch as the last one. Okay, so we have the 2 together at the beginning, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 together. Okay, so we have 1 in the next, 1 in the next, 1 in the next, 1 in the next, and 2 in the next. And I'll join you at the end of this to finish off, because we're going to change colour. Okay, right, so now we're at the end of that round. What we want to do is join to the top of the chain 3 from the previous round, from the beginning of the round, with a slip stitch, and this time we're finishing off. So just yarn over and pull your yarn through and snip the yarn and pull it through tight. So now we're going to join this our green colour. Now to do that, I've just put the hook, you see where we finished off here, there's a little hole there on that stitch. Put your hook into that stitch, grab the yarn and pull it through. Now you can just tie it on. I'm just going to tie it on because it's the easiest way to show you if you're a beginner. And then what I do is I'll tie my 2 stragglers together, and then that just gives it extra security. Okay, and then you put your hook through the hole that you just put it through, you grab your working yarn, you pull it through, and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, oops, and 3. We are going to do an increase in this round again. So yarn over into the same space, pull a loop and do a treble crochet, double crochet in US terms. Make sure you're working still on the front, so all your stragglers and bits are on the back of your work, and that'll become important in a minute. Hope you can still see the sun's shining through really bright now. I think you can still see what I'm doing. Now we're going to yarn over and we're going to put a treble crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to put a treble crochet into the next stitch. And then what we're going to do in this next stitch is we're going to do something called a spike stitch, or an elongated treble, elongated double in US. So what we do is this is our round we're on. This was our last round, and we go down to the next round. So yarn over. This was the stitch we would go into, but we're not going to go into that one. We're going to go into this one on the next row down. So if this is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is row 7. We're going to go into the top of row 5. Okay. So yarn over, and then the one that's below this stitch that we would go into that stitch, pull up a loop exactly as you would before. It'll squeeze your work down. You've got 3 on your hook just as normal, finish it exactly the same as a treble, but you've just got that little spike there. Now that stitch that you've sort of sewn over now is done with. Okay, so now we move on to the next stitch. So yarn over and you put the hook into the next stitch and do a treble, and the next stitch and do a treble, and then in the next stitch we're going to do our increase. So we're going to do 2 trebles into the next stitch. Okay, and you can see that one sort of just drops down. It's just a little bit of a design feature. So then you put 1 treble into the next stitch, 1 into the next, and then we're going to do our spike stitch. So yarn over, this is the stitch it would go into, but we're going to drop it down into the next level, bring it up and finish it off, and then we're going to move on and we're going to put 2 into the next 2 stitches, 1 into the next 2 stitches, 1 each into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 into the next stitch. Okay, because that's our increase, and then we're going to do it again. So we have, the pattern goes 2 trebles into 1 stitch, 1 into the next, 1 into the next, an elongated treble or a spike stitch, a treble into the next, a treble into the next, and 2 into the next, and repeat that all the way around. And it will make your edge go a bit fuzzy, but don't worry, it'll come back straight when we carry on working it around. And if we look at our finished hat, all that does is it gives us this little, just a little design feature, make it a little bit different. So carry on this around, and when we get to the end we're going to finish into this stitch, and then we're going to carry on with 1 more round in the green colour. And now here I am just doing my last 2 double crochet, treble crochet in the UK obviously, and I'm just going to join now to the top, and then I'm going to finish that one off, and then I'll join on my, I mean that looks quite pretty to use as a doily. And then I'm going to just, and you've noticed that it's not turning up as much as it was, but because you've increased it again, but it will start to turn up. The next few rounds will make it turn up dramatically, but yeah, I mean there's nothing to stop you using that as a little placemat. It's pretty. And now it gets really simple for this next round. Just chain 3, and we're just putting 1 treble crochet in every stitch around, and we're sticking with the cordial colour for this round, so it's just 1 treble in every stitch around, and keep going right to the end, join to the top of the chain 3, and then we will cast off, and we will finish off and change colour back to the violet for the next few rounds. Okay, so yes, it's very, very, very straightforward from now on. Okay, so join me back at the end and we'll start the next round. We'll change colour. I'll do the next 2 rounds with you, and then there's a triple repeat, and then yeah, we should get through it pretty quickly now. And so here we are now at the end of this round. So I'm just going to finish off and rejoin the violet yarn. So I'm going to just pop my hook into there, grab the violet yarn, pull it through, tie it on, and like I said, I'll tie it to my straggler from my other round because it just gives it a bit of extra something. I'll sew them all in at the end. Now from now on your hat's going to start to take a bit of shape and look a bit more like a hat. So put your hook in. By the time we've done these next 6 rounds, it should be starting to look a bit more like the one I showed you at the beginning. So chain 3, and then we're just going to put a row of triple crochets right around. So it's just one treble crochet, double in the US, right the way around, one in each stitch. Okay, what we do after that is we join to the top of this chain 3, then we chain 2 and we do a row of double crochet, which are single crochets in the US. Finish that, chain 3, a row of treble crochet, double crochets in the US, then another row of double crochets, another row of trebles, another row of doubles. So we end up with 3 sets. So we have the treble and the double, or the double and the single in US, and then we have another set of that and another set of that, and then we change again back to our green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join you at the end of those 6 rounds. I'm going to join you when we change back to our green. I thought I'd better just come back and show you this because we haven't done any single crochets yet, or double crochets in UK terms. So what I've done is I've chained 2 here, and then yarn over and go into the next stitch. And then so what I've done is I've chained 2 here, and then you just put your hook straight into the stitch, pull some yarn through, yarn over and pull through the 2 on your hook, and that's it for a double crochet. So hook into the stitch, pull through some yarn, 2 on the hook, yarn over and pull through the 2 on the hook, and that's it for what's called a single crochet in the US and a double crochet in the UK. Okay, so if you just do those all the way around, then we're going to do another round of the trebles, another round of the doubles, another round of the trebles, another round of the doubles, and then we're going to stop. We're going to change colour. We've finished that round, and we're going to now join the cord. We finished off with the violet, and we're going to join the cordial and chain 2. And now it's so simple. All we're going to do is put 1 UK double crochet into each stitch around, which is a US single crochet, and we're just going to put 1 in every stitch around. That's it. And then it's so simple from here. After this we do 1 round of this, and then we change back to the violet, and we do 3 rounds of UK trebles, US doubles. Okay, so 3 rounds after this round, and then the only sort of tricky bit is the round after that. So if you join me, if you do a full round of cordial, double crochets UK, single crochets US, and then 3 rounds of violet, treble crochet UK, double crochet US, and then join me again, I'll show you how to do the next round, and then it's more or less home and dry after that. Okay, so we've finished those 3 rounds. I'm not sure if I said to do 2, but it's 3. I'll annotate it and let you know if I made a mistake. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do another round of the green, double crochet UK, single crochet US, just 1 in every stitch around. That's all we're doing from now on, 1 in every stitch around. But what we're going to do is we're going to get a slightly different pattern this time, and how we're going to do that is, this is the outside of the hat, so this is the front of your work. This is the inside of the hat with all the stragglers and everything. That's the back of your work. So what we're going to do this time, we would normally attach our green yarn, cordial yarn, and what we would do is we would stitch in the same direction. So I'm just going to tie it to that one. So we'd normally stitch in the same direction. So we'd go like, we'd bring our yarn in, we'd chain 2, and we would go this way. But what I'm going to do is, we're still going to go that way, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn everything around. Turn everything around, so I've got the back of my work facing my body and the front facing away. And I'm still going to crochet along the same path, and I'm still going to pop 1 stitch in each stitch, 1 UK double, US single into each stitch, and I'm going to go all the way around, 1 in every stitch. And what happens is, here's one I made earlier, what happens is instead of getting this sort of little square sort of pattern, you get like a little Y shape or a little arrow shape, and it just makes a little change, and then we're going to go back to the square here. In fact, let me just say, because there's no point in me doing all this with you, we're going to go round backwards for this 1 round of cordial. Then we're going to finish off and change back to the violet, and then we're going to do 2 rounds, 1 in each stitch, of UK trebles, US doubles. Then we're going to change back to the cordial, and we're going to do a normal round. Or if you want, you can do the backwards round again. But we're going to do a normal round of UK doubles, US singles. Then we're going to change back to violet, do a round of UK trebles, US doubles. And then we finish off with our green yarn, cordial yarn, with just a single crochet in each stitch around. So if you just crack on with that and join me back when we're about to do this round, because I just want to show you, I pull this round really tight. I don't know, it just sort of brings the hat in together. So once I'm starting this round, I'll come back to you. Now just remember, when you're adding your violet yarn back on again, that you turn your work back around so you've got the outside of your hat facing you and the inside facing away, and then just do your 2 rows of UK trebles, US doubles. I'm going to show you that when you've done your crochets back to front, you have to sort of tip them when you're doing your next round to get your stitch. Your stitch is sort of languishing in the back. So do your yarn over, put your hook through, and just do your stitch as normal. But you will just have to tip them forward, okay? Just tip them forward a little bit so that you can see them properly. And okay, so this hat is almost complete now. I've just added my last row of, I've just added my cordial yarn for my last row, and I've chained 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a row of UK doubles, US singles into this last row. But what I'm doing is I have a very slack tension, so I'm pulling it through, and then I'm just pulling it nice and tight, and then moving on to the next one. Just pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then I'm just pulling it nice and tight. I think it just gives, for me, because I crochet quite slack, it just pulls everything together and it just gives it a nice finish. And so that's it. So once you've done that, you've finished. Now, like I said, you can make pom-poms and put them on. You can carry on and do more trim. You can do a fold-up brim. You can do a rib brim. You could put ears on it. You could put tassels on it. You can put ear flaps on it. You can do anything you want. This is just a very basic pattern for the man's hat. And like I said, if you want to do the lady's hat, you would stop your you probably stop your increases a lot earlier, and if you were to do a children's or a baby's hat, you definitely stop much earlier. So there will be lots more patterns shared, and I will do more demos throughout the project, but this is our sort of official beanie that I've designed specifically for the launch. As I said, everything's linked below that you should need to know. If I've missed anything, do let me know. And I will be doing a video about the launch of the card making element of Ben's Beanies this year as well. Like I said, we've already had hundreds of cards sent in. So we're off to a flying start. In fact, we're off to such a flying start that we're going to be selling some of the cards at our launch event. So, yeah, that's great. So, apologies that this took so long to do. It's just very difficult to find the time at the moment. And, you know, I'm just, I don't want to overstretch myself. There's lots of behind-the-scenes work that goes on to get the project up and running, to get people engaged, to let people know about it. So More than anything, we're really grateful if you share things, share the video. By all means, embed this video into your blog posts, share it with other people, as long as you direct people back to the Ben's Beanies Facebook page or back to this channel, so that they can find the Ben's Beanies page. That's all we ask. Okay, so thank you so much, just for your interest, really. We know from last year that the people who got involved, had amazing experiences themselves. It's amazing how wonderful giving to somebody you don't know, how amazing it can make you feel. And of course, I was there when my sister made the decision to carry out Ben's wishes and give the greatest of gifts. And each time somebody joins us in this project, to me I spend half my life in tears, because to me it just reminds me of that gift that he gave, and how he'd just be blown away to know that, coming up to 2 years after he passed away, people are still doing things in his name, and people are still getting to know him, which is amazing. It keeps him going for us, especially for my sister. It's a real tonic for her and helps her get on with her life in a positive way. So thank you so much, and enjoy making it. Take care. Bye bye.